Hello everyone, Vic here with another video. Today we're talking the Friday 13th franchise. I'm ranking all the openings from worst to best. So many movies in this franchise, 12 movies. Hopefully we'll get number 13 eventually once all this lawsuit, settlement, rights stuff clears up. We do have a TV show coming up pretty soon, but we're stuck at 12 movies, so let's rank all the openings. Let's start with number 12, the bottom of the list, the worst opening in the franchise. I'm going with the original Friday 13th opening from 1980. Not much going on here. You have Mrs. Voorhees stalking some random counselors back in, 1957. It's going to find them having sex. Of course, they're going with the whole, you have sex, you die. Cheesy sort of whatever it is back then that used to establish the horny cliches of the 80s. Sex equal death in a lot of these movies. We have it right here. Two unsuspecting camp counselors, doing their thing, getting killed off screen basically by an unknown killer. There's just not much here. I mean, obviously. Now, Tom Savini said that one of the reasons why they really don't show anything in this opening scene is that they want to kind of lure the audience in this idea of like, oh, okay, this is not too scary. And then as the movie went on, they wanted them shock them with actual gore, actual death scenes. As we saw, the movie got more and more violent. They showed more on screen with later kills in the movie. But because of that, this opening scene is pretty tame. You really don't get to see anything. You get the weird freeze frame thing back from the original Friday 13th used to have. So this is just an uneventful opening, doesn't really establish much, wasn't really needed in my opinion. I'm throwing this at the bottom of the list. Okay, let's go to number 11, which is actually Friday 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, which starts off with a dream sequence. We have a young Tommy Jarvis who, traumatized by the events of Part 4, is still dreaming about Jason. And we have Corey Feldman here, who actually wanted to be in Part 5, but I don't know if it's based on the success of Part 4, but he was getting some great opportunities here. He was actually busy filming The Goonies. And, if you're offered Friday 13th Part 5 and The Goonies, you definitely made the right choice going with The Goonies. But working on The Goonies 6 days a week, he still agreed to do a 7th day on a Sunday, do 1 day of filming to film this opening sequence. New beginning. Basically, Tommy Jarvis is hanging in the bushes, seeing two idiots dig up Jason. Jason comes back to life, kills the two idiots. Jason, for some reason, was buried with his mask in this dream sequence, so he has the mask. He's walking towards Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman just sits there and reacts, Tommy Jarvis. This is funny because basically they had no budget for this scene, so Corey Feldman said this is basically him in a neighbor's backyard with the sprinklers on, making it seem like a rainy graveyard scene, but it's just not much to this scene. It's kind of pointless. For about 9 minutes, it feels like Jason walks towards Tommy Jarvis, who sits in the bushes and just goes, no, 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 no. I mean, it's just like it's a weird scene. I mean, Tommy Jarvis, I know it's a dream sequence, but he has about 11 minutes to walk away, to get away from Jason. But he's just, oh, no, no, no. It's like, come on, man. You had a huge head start here to get away from Jason. I don't know. It just wasn't much to this sequence. It's kind of a waste of Corey Feldman, but whatever. Okay. Let's go to number 10 on the list. We're going to go with Friday 13th Part 7, A New Blood. Now, this may seem harsh. This may seem like it's way too low on the list. I'm going to say that. It doesn't mean if it's low on the list that I hate the opening. It just means that it's not ranking ahead of the ones that are above it. But when I think about the New Blood opening, the best part about it is this opening sort of recap of the series. I believe the actor who played Crazy Ralph actually does the narration here, kind of recapping the idea of a death curse, talking about Jason. You're getting a montage showing deaths from early in the movie. I love that. That's great. It was done a couple times in the franchise. So that part of this opening is fantastic. If it was just that, it may rank higher. But I'm counting in this opening also, I am counting the whole Tina as a kid, killing her father, or I guess maybe not killing him, since at the end he comes back from the water in human form, not decomposed at all. But whatever, that's more a complaint about the ending. This opening sequence, probably my only thing about this opening is that you could have done one thing to make this make a little bit more sense to me, and that's just not show Jason in the water at the beginning. Because you're showing Jason in the water, you have to do such a big time jump to be like, Jason's already in the water as her as a kid, and now we're going to jump to her as an adult, or her as like a 17, 18-year-old. You're doing a huge time jump, which to my calculation takes this movie into the damn 90s, the year 2000, and this clearly looks like the 80s. So I didn't like that. I would just take Jason out of the water at the beginning, don't show him, still have this opening sequence, and then we don't have to, this doesn't have to be a time jump. This can be just something that happened at Crystal Lake back when Tina was a kid, somewhere during the events of part one, two, three. This was happening on the other side of the lake, whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of a silly thing. The whole Tina's dad plotline in part seven, I could do without completely. Okay, let's go then to number nine on the list. Number nine is actually going to be the opening of Freddy versus Jason. Now, I like the Freddy part. I like Freddy's narration. It's kind of strange opening up with Freddy. Like, who the hell is Freddy talking to in this opening scene? Like, he's narrating his life story from hell. Like, why is he recapping from hell to the audience what's going on there? I didn't like that at all. But I will say that the Jason part of this opening sequence with him just stalking a random camp counselor and I guess what is basically hell for Jason. So um I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like, okay, that's hell for Jason is him actually killing camp counselors. So it begged the idea of like, okay, so Jason really didn't enjoy killing camp counselors. That if this is his punishment, this is his hell, is just getting to kill camp counselors. Wouldn't that be more like his heaven, you would think? But either way, would this opening scene have been improved by Betsy Palmer being in it? I think probably so. I think that if you're going to show Jason's mom, Freddy pretending to be Jason's mom, it does lend itself more. It would be like a cool sort of thing to see Betsy Palmer there. But I guess money wise, they didn't offer enough money, so she didn't want to do it. Um, it's not a bad opening sequence. Again, it's not one that I'm gonna say it's a terrible start. It does its job of establishing what the story is gonna be in Freddy vs. Jason. But it's just not memorable to me. Like I don't think of when I think of Freddy vs. Jason, I really think about the opening sequence. So it's hard to rank it high in the list because just it's not a memorable opening sequence. Okay, so we've done 12, we've done 11, we've done 10, we've done 9. Let's go to number 8. Number 8 is going to be Friday 13th Part 3. Man, what would it have been like to see Friday 13th Part 3D in theaters in 3D, actually? Because when you watch it now at home, these 3D effects are terrible. And they're so funny, actually, how over the top they are. But, I mean, the movie wasn't really meant to be watched 50, 45, 40 years later without the 3D effects. It was meant to be watched in 1982 with the 3D effects. That would have been amazing to see in theaters, but I did not, unfortunately. The opening of the movie, well, one thing you have to kind of subtract some points for. Some of the Friday 13 movies do this, but they show basically the whole ending of part 2 again at the beginning of part 3. Like, you didn't really need to do such a recap where you're showing the ending of part 2. So I didn't really like that part of it. The whole thing with the convenience store, Edna and her husband, they run a convenience store. Uh, they get killed by Jason. It's actually pretty creepy when Jason's outside the convenience store, by the laundry. But what stands out the most about the opening of Friday the 13th Part 3 is the amazing song that plays during the opening credits. This has to have the best opening credits in the franchise. I mean, that sort of disco jumping music, you really feel like Jason's about to get on the dance floor and boogie down. It's like if you're in a horror mood, yeah, that song comes on, you can't help but bop your head and be like, whoa, I'm in for a good time. So that the opening dance music over the credits, I would say elevates the otherwise a pretty uneventful opening sequence other than that. So, but gets props for that for sure. Okay, let's go to number 7, and we're doing Jason Takes Manhattan at number 7. Which, listen, I mean, polarizing movie, of course. Some call it Jason Takes a Cruise, Jason on a Boat, whatever you want to call it. Jason Takes Vancouver, whatever you want to call this movie. I have a lot of fun with it. Personally, I'm a fan. I have no big issues with Jason Takes Manhattan. This opening sequence, well, there's two things that stand out. Well, first of all, let's talk about the opening kills here. We have two random Joe Schmoes on a boat on Crystal Lake. The guy's telling the story about Jason again, kind of messing up the canon though, saying that Jason drowned here, and that maybe he's a ghost. We don't know if he lived, if he died. We still don't know based on the canon. But the only problem with this opening sequence, I would say, is the girl, after seeing Jason come aboard the boat, kill her boyfriend, she has a head start there. She's on the boat. Jason chases her-ish, but she has a chance to hide and do something. And, I mean, she just hides in the most obvious place on the boat. I mean, it doesn't take long for Jason to open up the little thing and be like, oh, well, hello there. There you are. I'm gonna slowly put my thing down here and kill you. I mean, I'm not saying she should have jumped in the water, but maybe if you have a head start, jump in the water, swim to the shore. But hiding in the boat in a kind of a trap area where you have no place to move or no place to go, it seemed like the worst decision possible that this girl made. Either way, the standout thing about the Jason X Manhattan opening, of course, is the actual opening credits. I said earlier that the Friday 13th Part 3 opening credits had the best music. I take it back. The Darkest Side of the Night song playing over our shots of either Manhattan or maybe Vancouver. We don't know. But this is just a great song. Changes the whole tone of the movie. Just like a fun, different thing for Jason instead of having the, Harry Manfredini's like a musical score playing over credits. We get a fun 80s pop song that feels so 80s. You just can't help but vibe to it. So the opening credits, fantastic. Jason Takes Manhattan really elevates it. And sometimes you just want to go back on YouTube and just listen to that damn song because it's that good. Okay, let's move on. Friday 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Of course, we know that this was false advertising. This would, in fact, not be the final chapter. We'd actually get a Part 5 literally a year later because these movies were still making boku money for Paramount. So why not keep doing it? Part 4, the opening, we do get a nice recap of the previous 3 movies. We get the first of the recap. Maybe not as cool as the Part 7 recap, but a pretty decent recap. You have Paul from Part 2 sitting around the campfire telling the legend of Jason. Of course, the series really doesn't know what the legend of Jason is. Did Jason drown in the first one? Did he live? Is he a ghost? Is he somebody who just raised himself in the woods? We really don't know. It's kind of inconsistent with that. But nice recap here. Get some flashbacks to some kills here, and then also, of course, we get the ending of Part 3. Got to recap that, of course, because Jason's going to get an axe to the head, and we're picking up right where Part 3 left off. The coolest thing about the opening Part 4 is just that you're literally picking up at the exact scene that Part 3 ended. I know Friday 13th is not the best series for continuity. You had a new director, a new writer with each movie. A lot of times they would come in and ignore certain things from the previous movies. Some things don't make sense. But as a kid on video, I had spliced together Part 3 and 4, and damn it if it doesn't feel like it's just one long ongoing movie. If you cut from the ending of Part 3 to Part 4, I had one 3-hour epic adventure going from Part 3 to 4 as like one epic movie, and it worked out very well. Everything with Jason coming back to life in the hospital, fantastic, love it. Final chapter Jason is a badass, brutal as hell, pulling no punches on the kills. What he does to the nurse, and then what's his face, the hospital dude, like spinning his damn head around. I mean, thankfully we have Tom Savini back for final chapter, so we're getting amazing gory kills, and these 2 hospital kills early on do not disappoint. I would say final chapter, Part 4 opening. It doesn't make my top 5, of course, but it is a solid opening. I think all the openings going forward are ones that I enjoy a lot, so it's hard to rank these, but okay. Jason X. Jason X, which I have to be honest with you guys. I saw Jason X for the first time on a computer in my programming class. I was in high school. Jason X had leaked onto all the online websites. Everybody was downloading the bootleg copy. It was delayed for so long by New Line. It was filmed in 1999. We get to 2001. The movie still hasn't come out yet. And now the film leaks online. Being a huge Friday the 13th fan. In the programming class, nobody paying attention to the teacher. I couldn't help but watch the bootleg copy. Ashamed to say, I did not enjoy it very much at first. As time has gone on, I've become a bigger fan of Jason X because, hey, if you don't take it seriously, it's one of the most fun movies to watch with a group of people. It's a terrible Alien remake, but I don't know. I'm a fan of the comedy in Jason X. I like a lot. But the opening sequence, I should say, is actually really solid. You have Jason, we're cutting to Jason having been captured by the army study. They're hanging him up. They're figuring out what to do with him. We want to, what's her face wants to kill him. They want to study his regenerative abilities, which probably is a bad move. I would say a bad move, but scientifically, you would want to figure out like, hey, what the hell is going on with this guy? Like, is he human? Like, is there anything in his DNA, his blood? I can see why the government would want to study Jason. But of course, not really meant to be, as Jason's gonna get loose, kill all these army dudes, kill this government dude, chase what's her face onto a frozen. Well, I guess he's on a ship pretty much, but Jason's gonna get himself frozen, and it's just a fun sort of harmless action sequence. Just fun to watch. Nothing really amazing about it, but I would say it does its purpose of setting up the space setting. It does its purpose of setting up that this is Kane Hodder again as Jason. And it's something about Jason X. Jason is iconic. Like by this time in the series, the way they're framing him is almost like we know that he's a star. We know that he's iconic. Every time they cut to Jason, it's like a kind of a shot that kind of like shows him in an iconic light. So I think that Jason X, the opening, fantastic. It's look again, it's not the best movie in the world, but I'm a contrarian with these space horror movies. I actually like Leprechaun in space. I like Jason X. I haven't seen Hellraiser in space, but for me personally, I don't mind if a franchise once in a while just goes to space. Just do it. Except that damn Fast and the Furious movie where Ludacris and Tyrese went to space. I didn't like that. But horror movies in space, it can work. It can be fun. Props to Jason X. Okay, now let's get into the top four. These four openings are all amazing. Not only are they good openings, but they're some of maybe the highlights of the movies they're in. So that's one separator is like, okay, not just a good opening, is it like the highlight of the movie? I would argue these four sequences are maybe the best parts of the movies they're in. Let's go with number four, which is Jason Goes to Hell. Now, Jason Goes to Hell, we know, is the body hopping Necronomicon Deadite Jason. All this lore. He has he has a sister, he has a niece, mythical daggers, bounty hunter Crane Duke knows everything about Jason's background, knows the magic formula to kill Jason somehow. This is quite the adventure for the Friday the 13th franchise here with Jason Goes to Hell. For me personally, no, I do not believe that Jason's a Deadite. The Necronomicon is there as just an Easter egg, just a prop, just for fun, just for kicks, but I don't think it means anything in terms of Jason's lore, because if this ability to transfer bodies was there the whole time, then those earlier movies don't make any sense, because Jason was just chilling dead between parts 4, 5, and 6, and there would have been some body hopping early in the franchise if this was a power he actually possessed. All that said, the opening sequence of Jason Goes to Hell is actually fantastic. You get a super old school kind of scary feel as this woman shows up to Camp Crystal Lake. For some reason, she's rented a cabin by herself. She's going to do typical Friday the 13th things, take a shower, walk, just basically make herself seem like the perfect opening victim for Jason. Jason shows up on the scene, chases her out into the woods, and then we get the big twist that she's actually an FBI agent. And finally, after years of Jason killing so many people, the FBI has decided to intervene and take out Jason. And we got a whole damn sting operation. They called in the cavalry, and they're going to shoot the shit out of Jason, blow him up. The end of Jason. Hit the end credits. Movie's over. Jason's dead. Go on to hell. Well, not really, because we're going to introduce the body hopping plot. Someone's going to eat as hard as if it's a damn piece of roast beef at the hospital. But this opening sequence, the first few minutes of just... they kind of play with the idea of, is Jason behind her? Is Jason in the shadows? So they play with that in a fun way. When Jason does show up, we get a nice chase sequence in the woods. And then, look, I actually enjoy Jason getting shot to shit by the FBI. Although, it's kind of weird if you actually listen. Jason's making a lot of noise when he's getting shot. He's like, oh. Like, it is weird to hear zombie Jason grunting as he gets shot to hell. It's like, I don't think zombie Jason's supposed to be feeling pain or be like reacting in that way where he's like, like you have to turn the volume up and hear that. But if Jason Goes to Hell for the rest of the movie was as good as the opening sequence, I think a lot of fans would be more on board with Jason Goes to Hell. Unfortunately, I think that is the highlight of the movie, is the opening sequence. Okay, let's go to number 3. And this is going to be Friday the 13th Part 2. We find Jason wandering around in a suburban neighborhood. First of all, where's Neighborhood Watch? Why is the neighbor not looking out the window and seeing damn Jason walking through the streets and not calling the police? I mean, I feel like that's like suspicious activity. You look out your window and you expect to see some kids doing jump rope and playing hopscotch, and you see damn Jason, and we know what Jason looks like unmasked. So either Jason's unmasked looking like himself, or he's wearing the sack, because this is, sackhead Jason in part two. So either way, that looks suspicious. But Jason boldly just walking through the neighborhood, not caring. He's tracked down Alice. Alice, who he saw murder his mom at the end of Friday the 13th Part 1. Alice is doing this thing where it's like, okay, to confront my fears, I have to come back to the place where the trauma happened, and that'll help me to get over it. I don't I think that the best move, Alice, was to stay away, get as far away from Crystal Lake as possible, stay gone, and you would have been fine. Coming back to the place to confront your fears, because apparently the idea is that she had went to Crystal Lake, walked around, confronted her fears, left Crystal Lake, but Jason followed her back from Crystal Lake. That's how Jason finds her here in part two. He followed her back, and now he's going to kill her. And this would have been all avoided, Alice, if he just stayed away. Now, there is some funny stuff in this opening. I mean, at one point, Jason calls Alice, seems to call her, and I think that maybe that was something where Jason was calling her just to see that it was her and that she was there. So once she answers the phone, Jason's like, okay, I'm good to go in for the kill. They do recap the events of part one. Again, these first few movies in the franchise, they really go strong on the recaps. They're like, okay, in case the audience has not seen the last one, we're going to show you the entire ending from the last movie, get you back on board. Some cool stuff here. Suspenseful as hell. Eventually, finding Mrs. Voorhees' head in the fridge, Jason with an ice pick right into Alice's head. She's a goner, and the tea boiling, that noise when the tea boils on the pot. It's so damn annoying, that noise, that even Jason has to be like, oh, I gotta turn this damn noise off. Jason, before he leaves, his first priority is to take the teapot off the stove and get rid of that damn noise. I thought that was funny. It's a good opening sequence. It does establish the killing off a survivor from the previous film thing, which became so paramount in horror movies, future sequels and different franchises. They did like to do that thing sometimes where it's like, hey, let's kill off the protagonist from the previous movie. Was it the right move for the franchise? Because if you didn't do that, you could have brought back Alice in future sequels, gave her some kind of bigger role, a la maybe Tommy Jarvis. I think it was the right move because you're establishing Jason as a new character here, and his first move being to avenge his mom is pretty badass. I mean, so I think it was the right move to get Jason established for what he's going to be, and also, for me, again, I didn't have the emotional attachment to Alice. I didn't think she was that great of a final girl the way that a lot of fans feel. So I was perfectly fine with Alice taking the fall here. Okay, number 2 on the list of the best openings in the franchise, I'm going with Friday the 13th, 2009. Now, I saw this movie in theaters back in 2009. I was so hyped up. New Jason film. The last Jason film had been, Freddy vs. Jason, so it'd been a while. And seeing it in theaters, I was like taken aback by how amazing this opening sequence was. This is a long opening sequence before we get to the opening credits. You have a whole group established here that are going to meet their demise by Jason, a really badass Jason played by Derek Mears, who runs at you, who is obviously very thrifty, very woodsman-like, as knows his way around the woods, knows how to set traps. It's just a great opening sequence. I mean, no question, this opening sequence is the highlight of the entire movie. I think that, honestly, it's done so well that I think the original group of characters could have been our group of characters, and the whole movie could have been just Jason after them, and the audience would have been pretty happy. The characters that they introduced after this, some of them are decent, but I don't know. This opening sequence is different. It's long. It's bold. I like it a lot, and I think actually I, along with most fans, do feel really good about the 2009 movie. It doesn't feel like a remake. It feels like another sequel. So one of the better remakes or reboots, however you want to call it, I've seen in horror movies for sure. Okay, that means we're left with number 1. Number 1, the best opening in the franchise, no question about it, Jason Lives. Look, I'm just going to be honest, Jason Lives is my favorite movie in the franchise, so it's no surprise that it's also my favorite opening then. You have Tommy Jarvis, fresh out of the hospital, I guess, maybe not, but for some reason, Tommy Jarvis has decided that he has to make sure Jason is dead by digging up his body. Tommy Jarvis, who, based in this movie, based on this opening sequence, is going to be responsible for a lot of deaths going forward. Because I have to remind you, at this point, Jason wasn't coming back. He was dead. He's dead, buried in the grave. Jason no more. We're doing copycat killers, Roy Burns, but Jason himself was gone. But Tommy had the brilliant idea to dig up Jason to make sure he was dead. But okay, either way, this sequence in the opening is pure fun. You got Tommy digging up Jason, lightning striking Jason, the eyes opening. Zombie Jason, the first appearance of Zombie Jason, comes out of his grave. Tommy's friend, being a good friend, actually, almost sacrificed himself, basically, runs up, hits Jason in the back of the head with a shovel, only to have his damn heart punched right out of his damn chest. I feel sorry for Hawes. Being a good friend did not pay off for Mr. Hawes here. Tommy being chased by Jason. You got the James Bond opening credits. Amazing. Really a fun sequence, and establishes what I like about Jason Lives is that the movie starts off running fast-paced, starts off just super action-packed, and never really steps off that pace. I love movies where you get right to the action, and the story's right there from the beginning, and we're just super fast-paced for the rest of the movie. So Jason Lives, definitely my number one opening. Can't get enough of it. Okay, folks, that is the list ranking all the openings. Next week, I'll be ranking all the endings of the franchise. We'll see how those stack up. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite opening? How would you rank them? Anything you want to say in the comments about the Friday 13th movies and the openings, let me know. This coming June, Friday 13th, maybe doing some kind of watch along, a live stream on Friday 13th, some kind of Friday 13th marathon. I'll keep you updated on that. But until next time, you guys take care.